and when we come back, you can continue talking, but now we're going to break, so we'll be right back. I'm cutting you off because we have to go, Meghan.
That quality entertainment over at The View. Now, what preceded that meltdown? Well, apparently there was a discussion about Marjorie Taylor Greene, who compared being forced to wear a mask at work is the equivalent of the genocide that killed, or the Holocaust that killed 6 million Jews. So Marjorie Taylor Greene made that stupid statement, and we should actually watch. Let's take a look at the next video.
This woman is mentally ill. You know, we can look back in a time in history where people were told to wear a gold star, and they were definitely treated like second-class citizens, so much so that they were put in trains and taken to gas chambers in Nazi Germany. And this is exactly the type of abuse that Nancy Pelosi is talking about.
Okay, so they were discussing that on The View, and rather than condemn that kind of ridiculous rhetoric, Meghan McCain decided to immediately deflect and focus on members of the so-called squad. Let's watch.
I can't stand Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she's a crazy person. I've said that over and over again, but she has been stripped of her committees. She has absolutely no legislative power in Congress whatsoever, which juxtaposed when Ilhan Omar said that Jewish people had hypnotized the world and it was all about the Benjamins. She's still on the Foreign Relations Committee and she's able to dictate our foreign policy in the United States of America. So what do you expect Republicans to do? I think that's taking a lot more action against a crazy person than I would say the Democrats are doing on the left. I would love if the energy that is being put on one crazy woman in Congress, and by the way, if she is the face of the Republicans, then the squad is the face of the Democrats. I would love Democrats to put that same type of energy onto what's happening on the left, because quite frankly, this is how people get red-pilled. They're red-pilled when they see the blatant bias in the media. It's because the media doesn't want the squad to look bad. They just want Marjorie Taylor to look bad.
Oh yeah, the media has been super friendly to progressive members of Congress, especially the young women in the squad. I mean, remember the glowing coverage that AOC got, especially when she was in the middle of a spat with Nancy Pelosi? I think the New York Times was super friendly to her. I mean, it's ridiculous. So she brings up Ilhan Omar, who has apologized profusely for her unfortunate use of language in being critical of the Israeli government. The Israeli government. And honestly, her critique, her criticism is coming from the right place. But she used the wrong words and unfortunately reminded people of tropes that she should have been a lot more delicate, a lot more careful in the language she chose, but the points that she was making were valid. And she apologized for not using the right rhetoric. That's very different from Marjorie Taylor Greene, who shows no remorse for her actions, who has physically threatened members of Congress, including AOC, who has incessantly repeated lies about the 2020 election, and who has proven herself to be, honestly, and I'm not just saying this to insult her, it's just demonstrably true, one of the dumbest women I have ever encountered in my entire career. Like completely unaware of how stupid she is.
Yeah, so let's do the comparison. So first of all, I just want to correct the record because Meghan McCain lied there. She said that Ilhan Omar said the Jews hypnotized the world. She did not say that. She said Israel did, that there's a giant distinction there. It's still wrong to say because of what it harkens back to potentially, and it was said in 2012, and she's now apologized 38 times for it. Now, the other reference that she made is all about the Benjamins. That was directly in regards to lobbyists. And yes, that's what lobbyists do. They bribe politicians. They all do it. I don't think she should apologize for that at all. I don't know if it was also a play on Benjamin Netanyahu's name, in which case it would be perfectly fine, okay? So on the other hand, if you're outraged by this, oh no, Cenk, no. The thing with, it's the government, but okay, I'm still very, very, very upset by that. Marjorie Taylor Greene said that Jewish bankers built a space laser and use it to start forest fires like the Camp Fire in California.
Obviously, yeah, obviously.
Okay, and she just said, and you just heard her say that Nancy Pelosi asking them to wear masks if they haven't been vaccinated for the health of others is, quote, exactly like how the Germans did the Holocaust, loaded up Jews on a train and sent them to be murdered, exactly like it. So people are upset for a very good reason that seems to minimize the deaths of millions of people. And comparing it to something that is sanitary and helps your health, right? No, it is not exactly like that. But remember, she's a lunatic. She's also shown support for anti-Semitic conspiracy theories of QAnon online, etc. So what Meghan McCain does in her infinite ignorance is, they're both crazy, they're crazy people. Did you know I'm Senator John McCain's daughter? I'm really important, okay?
Both sides
and Ilhan Omar, who does a very legitimate critique of Israeli policy, is crazy. Don't listen to her. Israel's awesome. Never question their policies. Ilhan Omar's crazy. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jewish space leaders, also bad, but they're the same. They're the same. No, they're not the same. One drives anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that causes real damage, and then another hatchet job that Meghan McCain did in that longer version of that piece that they did on The View. She started listing all these crimes, anti-Semitic crimes against Jews in America and worldwide, and it's a horrific list that's happening right now, and we should all be deeply concerned about it. Half of them were from right wingers. And then she mixed in some Palestinians and then said it made a reference to the left wing. No. The synagogue attacks, the actual violent attacks against Jews in this country have been almost exclusively from the right wing. But that's not what Meghan McCain said. She made it seem like as if the squad is doing it because she's an over-the-top liar.
Yep.
Okay. All right, now. But at the end of the day, if you just want to take her advice and say, oh my God, if you say Marjorie Taylor Greene is a Republican Party, then you should say the squad is a Democratic Party. Fine. So what? Great. Yes, the squad is the Democratic Party. We'd like them to be much more representative of the Democratic Party than the current corrupt Democratic establishment. I would take them over Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in a second. And why? They're uncorrupted by corporate PAC money, which you and all of your corrupt Republican friends love, Meghan. You all run on corporate money. All of your so-called totally deeply corrupt friends, giving them oil money, bank money, drug company money, give it to me. And Manchin and Cinema do the same thing. We are fair and honest, and we call out our own side. So if we could have uncorrupted politicians, I would take that 1,000 times over the corrupted Democratic leadership, let alone the trash running the Republican Party now. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.